Good afternoon, good time zone to wherever you are in the world. This is Amelia, aka Puffin, and we are here for another study session. TGCF, Season 2, Episode 11. I actually kind of predict that this will be my last proper study session. I feel like studying Episode 12 might be a little bit more like, just a cozy rewatch to kind of celebrate that I'm done with this whole thing. The Donghua anyway. Yes, I am aware that there is a short film, and that is of course on my list. We're getting to that. But as of after episode 12, I am officially done watching the TGCF Donghua because there has been no season 3 announcement during my 7 months of trying to watch this show. Oh well. No live action announcement either. However, I do know that there is another short film coming out and apparently hopes for even more. So people, as far as I know, are kind of waiting for maybe a season 3 announcement, but we're not waiting that long. Once I'm done with all of this, we're going straight into this stack of books over here. I am so ready to start reading chapter 1. As for this episode, there isn't that much plot to talk about really, because we kind of already solved the mystery. Yes, we have Hua Chang kind of telling us how he solved the mystery, but right now we're really just experiencing emotions and character interactions. We have Function and even Windmaster joining us for this episode, which is super exciting to me. Character-wise, it's really nice to see Function by himself. We mostly see both Function and Mu Qing together, and them together are a lot less productive, I feel, than when they are apart. In season 1, we did see Fuyao by himself a lot more than we saw Nanfeng. So I feel like we got a grasp of Fuyao, who got to kind of have that screen time and a lot of speaking lines. Well, now we actually get to see Function alone with Shelian, with Hua Chang, and with Windmaster. But since his other half isn't here, I feel like we're getting to see a little bit more of his character, which I thought was so exciting and really interesting. I think it's easy to kind of mix up the two of them, not because they look alike, that's not what I'm on about. I mean their role in the story. A lot of the time, kind of their thing in the narrative is to derive that little bit of anti-Hua Chang. Like that conflict of, oh, this Ghost King is bad and we are gonna tell you why. So I think it's hard to kind of think of them as individual characters unless you're looking to do so. I'm looking to do so. So I'll probably be paying a bit of attention to Function in this episode because there are some really good shots and there are some really interesting lines. Other than that, this episode is about Hualien being just written in such an incredible way. Again, I've said this before, I've said it in the comments a million times already, I feel like. But I am so positively surprised by how well their relationship is written. You hardly ever see a show. I mean, yes, we know that this is a romance show, but honestly, the romance is only just a part of it, I feel. There's so much time given to these mysteries, the plot, the characters, that I feel like the romance is almost secondary. And in shows like this, you hardly ever see romance being given that time to develop and breathe. And I'm not just talking, pure romance here, I'm talking just their companionship in general. I will not tire of talking about how wonderful I think it is that we're giving them time to talk together, to communicate, to make these mistakes together and just grow. This show of willingness to communicate and their willingness to be vulnerable with each other is so important, and it makes this relationship seem so real. So yeah, I think I was already kind of a Hualien simp after season 1, but this has helped. This season has really helped. I fear there's no going back now. But anyway, I'm not really looking to do a big rant or anything. I just want to rewatch this episode, take some notes, and then prepare for the very last episode of season 2 of Heaven Official's Blessing, which is so insane to me. I have so many conflicted feelings about this. I kind of don't want this to end, but at the same time, I know that there's some good shit waiting for me. following all of this, so we're gonna do it. We're ready. I've got everything pulled up on screen, and once again, Arya has checked the subtitles for me. Thank you so much again for doing all this work. And without further ado, let's roll into episode 11. I have to say, I do like the choice they made by making this duality, showing Young An being at peace and then going into the State Preceptor's grave. This is what followed his death. I wonder still why this land is kind of barren. Someone mentioned to me, hello George, someone mentioned to me that apparently something about the coffin was like a deterrent for ghosts or other things. So I'm wondering if it has something to do with what they've done to this area. Or maybe they picked this area because it was such a barren, empty place. My god. The fucking stake, man.
陛下，既然生前没能看到真容，那么死后也不必了。
I kind of respect him for this decision, honestly. It is such a long chinchou thing to do. Oh, you can just hear the lids being put on. Oh. Who's there? That's a little different from the English translation where he actually did call for help. This almost feels even worse. Oh lord. I still love the artistic direction they went in with that. It looks really good and at the same time conveys that feeling of just anxiety, dread, etc, etc. Had a quick thought that, I think that this image is supposed to be, you know, Ling Wen, Pei Ming, and then She Wudu, who is part of the whole tumor thing. And I wonder if they've put him in here like this because he's kind of like that little looming presence in a sense. Like, he's been mentioned a few times and we know that he's related to Windmaster now. But why put him in here? Is it to just kind of like give a little nod to it? Is it a bit of an Easter egg, or is She Wudu going to show up within the next episode? If I remember correctly, people have said that he doesn't show up in a while, but we're end of episode 2, like, could be. He could be showing up soon. End of season 2, I mean. God. Okay, completely unrelated, but a little bit of an Easter egg for you guys who are joining me for the study session. I do my little silent karaoke thing, but I'm actually singing out loud, and that has actually helped me sync up this episode. Like, the episodes are easier to sync up when I can sync up my singing with Luhan's. Okay, here we are. Let's do it. 对不起，
我的错。
不，是我的问题，一塌糊涂，简直一团糟。
你没有错。3条人命啊，换几世太平，是我也会这么做。
I would do the same.
听我的，你没有错。谁也不会做得比你更好了。
No one can do it better than you. I love this.
不应该。
So this was pointed out to me several times in the comments, and I can't believe I didn't notice it myself, but this is on purpose. The way Shillian is kind of like crouched down like that is the same position that we see him crouched down in episode 3 when we see the flashback to him as a kid. And honestly, I think it's on purpose because there is a parallel here. I think I'll mention this as well in the pre-discussion of the next episode, but in a sense, this is one of Shillian's gold foil palaces. He constructed this solution, and yes, sure, he'd rather not have the massacre have happened at all, of course, but he's made a solution, which, as Sanlong says, it was probably the best way to solve this. 3 lives exchanged for everlasting peace. So he's successfully constructed the solution, a gold foil palace that was since torn down, and this is the fallout. So to me, there is a parallel here between Shillian as a child having this emotional breakdown over his physical gold foil palaces that are coming apart when he doesn't want them to, and Shillian now, who is coming apart because this thing that he's constructed fell apart, fell to pieces, became such a mess. And just a last mention too, I just love that Sandang takes responsibility for his part in this. He says very clearly, it's my bad. And again goes on to acknowledge what Shillian tried to do and what he has done right. And then he just listens. And oh my god, that's perhaps the most important thing he's doing. But these things combined together, I think he's doing a lot of right things here considering the situation. And as we see towards the end of the episode, even though Shillian might not agree with what he says, that it's not your fault, he still takes the words to heart and thanks him for saying these things. I love Hualien so much. What the fuck? How did this happen?
而不是现在这样，一切都变成了谎言，变成了骗人的。
Gosh, I love how they've animated Hua Cheng's little facial expressions as well. As well as, of course, Shillian's just movements and everything. It's just... I love that they've given this detail to everything.
永安前面几代皇族，到行逆时都没有不得善终，而到了郎千秋父母这辈，一心想挽救残局，做点大事。 却是这种下场，我真忘不了。那一剑刺去。
I can't forget that final fatal strike. Oh, baby.
忘了吧，那是齐荣和安乐王的错。
I really wish we were far enough along in their relationship's development for physical touch to be a comforting thing, because I would kill for a hug to be the right thing here. I feel like it's not. Like, I think maybe he would have accepted it, but been a bit like, about it. But just seeing him so broken down, I just want to hug him. As in, I want to use Sandang as my proxy to give him a fucking hug. But alas, it's not time yet. We're not quite there yet. So we're gonna stick with words of reassurance, which is what Hua Cheng is doing. He's doing the next best thing. Thank you, Sandang. Thank you for your emotional competency.
你知不知道你犯下了大错？你是国师。
God, I was genuinely so surprised and so disgusted with Anda in this scene.
去干一番大事业。现在起了刘金燕。
My God.
杀了郎千秋。可是，杀了就是杀了。 没有再冠冕堂皇的理由。再多的。
Yeah, this is another thing that I mentioned in the last episode. Like, Shillian is reducing this act of murder is an act of murder. But as is the trait of a perfectionist, you impose standards upon yourself that you wouldn't impose on others. He took off his mask and confronted Anla and gave him an opportunity to talk. Asked him, do you know what you've done? Shillian, you know what he's done. A murder is a murder, right? But only if it's you. No, seriously. He lets Anla speak for himself before he decides that this is a lost cause, I need to kill him. In other cases as well, he wants to hear, for instance, Xuanji's, for instance, in season 1, in the first arc, he wants to hear Xuanji's explanations. He wants to hear her side of the story. Even though, like he says later, she did kill all these people. But then there's the case of Banyue, who Shillian has taken in, who also killed a lot of people, who's also responsible for a lot of people's deaths. Not to mention this guy. Like, Shillian, let's not pretend you don't know that that man has killed people. And yet, a murder is a murder, but only when it concerns you. Well, when other people do it, maybe they had a reason. We should find the context for this. So you agree then, Shillian? That the truth is important and we should be listening to all sides to figure things out. Except when it's about you? Anyway, this is why we need to go to therapy.
其中有一点说的挺对。
Fuck Qirong.
我是挺失败的。
Shut
那种
up.
废物的话你可别信。
Agreed.
他除了打不死跑得快，
如此说来，我岂不也是？原本再见到郎千秋，发现他依旧是从前那直来直去的性子，还有些欣慰。但这次冲击之后，不知他会变成怎样。
Yeah, we definitely saw that in this season in the first episode. That Shillian felt kind of this fondness and kind of this comfort when he met Lang Chen-cho for the first time. Yeah, let's not think too much about the implications of him destroying a statue of himself.
先叫他们出去。
I feel like that hesitation showed us that Hua Chang wouldn't really want to stop the conversation there. He wanted to keep it going. But he will listen to Shillian. Shillian is not ready, and he's not going to push any more than he already has.
就在前面。
放人。
It's kind of extra funny how silly this scene is with Hua Chang and these ghosts until you remember that he brutally murders them in like 5 minutes.
刘心燕，而你是如何得知？又是多早之前知晓的呢？
我跟戚荣打过几次交道，清楚他的底细和手段。
I think this scene again is really interesting because yes, Hua Chang is explaining how he figured this out, but he's giving a few hints that I think contributes to Shillian making the guess next that he might be connected to his own past. He's had a few run-ins with Qi Rong, okay, but Qi Rong is 800 years old. That could mean that Hua Chang has had dealings with him before. He knows a lot about the Shanle remnants and the Yong'an thing and was around for that time, means that he's at least 300 years old, if not older. And considering how much he knows about Shanle and knew how to make art of the Shanle's crown prince, and just the fact that he is seeking out Shillian, like this is a big badass ghost king who is pretty infamous, but he's been seeking out Shillian all this time. I think Shillian too is like, this is not a coincidence. Either way, I just think it's fun that we're getting to know how Hua Chang figured this out, but at the same time, I think this is also information that, you know, Shillian is taking with him and into account when he's trying to figure out, Sandang, who are you?
不过，郎千秋指认方兴国师是你，那么方兴便不可能和戚荣一派。
三郎似乎十分清楚我和戚荣之间的渊源过节。
思来想去，便只剩下现在这个结论。
线索这么少，亏你竟能推得8、9不离10。
不难，只是足够了解罢了。
的确是很了解了。
I'm getting suspicious.
有一个很重要的前提，为什么你如此相信刘心燕就一定是戚荣先动的手？
This feels good. This line is so good.
我并非相
It's
信
not that I firmly believed it was him.
我只是
I just firmly believe
一定不是
it wasn't you. Oh, he's so cute.
看不得他们坐在这个位置上。确实是很标准的篡位者宣言，但出自你口，那就是拙劣的自污了。
自污？可万一我心底深处真就是那么想的呢？
Oh, this is different.
你也不会那么做，
你会很失望的。
那不一定。但对一些人来说，某人存在于这世上本身就是希望。
Ah,
你到底是什么人？
that little
你知道戚荣
epiphany.
是谁，也知道我是谁。你似乎对我知道很多。
我岂非一直都知道很多？
不一样，我总有一种感觉，
I've always had this feeling.
是我一位故人。
You're someone from my past.
也许相识于我第一次飞升的时候，不，也许更早。三郎，你究竟是谁？
It's so good. It is so good. And I hate that this is such a tease, but at the same time, it's really, it's keeping us on edge. It makes us want more. So storytelling wise, this is good for a slow burn like this. This is a slow burn, come on. Well, at least until
你不要在意
book 4.
我只是随口一问，你是谁都没有关系。
我就说啦，画个女像别说法力，连手机都跟不上。
风师大人，
哎，是太子殿下。
She's so cute. I adore her.
去探花。
I think she's acting a bit silly on purpose now that I know that she wasn't actually going to confront them physically. Like, she knows that they could not win This is very cool too, though.
太子殿下，你快过来，这收起来吧。
Mediator route immediately.
花城，血雨探花，你别乱来啊！
She's so
是不小心
cute.
烧的，要是有什么不满，咱们商量商量赔你。帝君还不至于赔不起。放了太子殿下，一切好说。
风师大人，这是在干嘛？
君无往我手底下安插眼线。
I love how he's catching on and they're doing this little play
你们拿什么跟
together.
我谈条件？
还不如一开始就是恶意，他们反而就信了。
明白人。
那是，要不然本风师怎么在上天庭混？
I love that Windmaster and Hua Cheng has similar skill sets actually.
放下吧，人家手
In the
着
people
呢，没恶意
department,
的。
reading the room.
太子殿下，快过来！你身旁那个是君。
怎么一个两个都听不进去劝的？快把弓放下了！
我靠了！你想干什么？你赶紧给我变回去！听到没有
你是什么？态度？
Ah, well, it's okay.
千秋呢？
You know, man or
他没在通灵
woman,
阵里吗？
they're still drop dead
我后来
gorgeous.
追问了他好几次，他都没和我应声。
太华殿下是去追七荣了，此处正是七荣的巢穴。
他只是去追血血流金焰真正的凶手了。
真正的凶手，当真？
Coming out.
有点复杂。
果然是误会，本风师真是料事如神啊！
Function is still keeping his weapon
不用关
up.
禁闭了。
There we go.
好，风信，其实七荣就是那个七荣。
啊？哪个？
不会吧？我们都认识的那个？怎么会有鬼？脑袋上顶着自己的真名，到处招摇过市，这不是有病吗？
Yeah, he kind of is. This is a little different actually because in the English dub, Function pretty much says that demon rat, and when he does that, he pretty much confirms that Chirong was a little shit, even back when they were all mortal, you know. Unless he's referring then to some, you know, Chirong being part of the temple burning after the fall of Shanda, because Function was around for all that. Don't know. Here he is a bit more like the one we know, like it's more neutral, I suppose. That's okay, that's a good thing to keep in mind.
我表弟，
厉害呀！
Impressive.
他确实相当厉害。
我是说太子殿下你厉害呀！东南武神、西南武神是你旧识，
You're all
东
acquaintances.
方武神是你徒弟，青灯夜游是你表亲，这鬼市老大血雨探花是你拜把子的兄弟，
Swarm
还有本
brother.
风师是你朋友，这还不厉害吗？
Yeah, I was recently taught what Sworn Brotherhood is in Chinese media, and especially its other very prominent meaning in Chinese Dunley. So yeah, Sworn Brother, huh? I don't think Sanlang was very happy with that actually.
总之要没别的事，你还是赶紧回仙京吧。闹那么大一出，帝君那边你总得有个交代。
我还倒是性子有多直，原来也是个说话拐弯抹角的，不就是让太子殿下别和我这种妖魔鬼怪混作一路吗？怎么，为何不敢直说？
Yeah, I think this was also pointed out to me that yeah, I mean Function is making a suggestion that Shelian leaves and leaves Hua Cheng behind because you know Hua Cheng can't come with them to heaven. So he is, like Hua Cheng says, he is kind of beating around the bush in the sense of he wants Shelian to get away from here. He doesn't want him around Hua Cheng. And instead of saying it directly, he is saying it like, well, the Majesty, His Majesty the Emperor will need to hear this explanation. You need to go, which is code for, can we get out of here? I don't particularly enjoy spending time around Crimson Rain Salt Flower, the Ghost King. I still think Hua Cheng is kind of picking on him, but at the same time, he is calling a spade a spade. Like, Function, even before the next scene, is pretty, you know, convinced. Like, I think he knows that he can't fight Crimson Rain Sword Flower and win. And with Shelian, you know, being so friendly around him as well, it's hard. It's a difficult situation if you're Function here. The rest of us are kind of, oh, relief, we're around the good guys. But for Function, this is we're standing next to the literal devil. Can we please go?
他本就不该，你知道就好。
三郎，我会给个交代的。不过现在这里还有些事要做，方才多亏三郎帮忙，才把被七荣困在这的活人给放走。
拖太久不好，你先上去，这交给我。
以上天庭的效率，大概下个月就可以处理完了吧？
说的你一瞬间就能了结似的。
Acting like you can wrap this up in instance, and then he goes, bet.
三郎，你干什么撑伞？
等着。马上变。
Windmaster has good intuition.
哪来的雨？
Ooh. Oh no.
哎，南阳将军，没事吧？怎么跟个木桩子似的？也不躲躲。
Should have dodged. Well,
风信，还好吧？
this is almost worse. Shillian coming up to him like, "Are you okay?" Yeah, no, he took a big mental blow. I think emotional damage indeed. It was way more direct. I feel in the Chinese version that was a bet. Basically. He said to Hua Chang, "You're acting like you'd clean this up in a moment," and Hua Chang said, "Yes, I will." And then, there was a really good comment about this actually. Like, Function is kind of stuck there. Like, yes, he could have taken a step back, but he won't do that. The thing about Function here is that he is so set on the fact that he wants to protect Shelley and he wants to take Shelley somewhere safe because he perceives the situation as dangerous. And he is so set in this conviction, I think, because of their shared past and what has happened. I think that he has, like, immense guilt about this. Function and Mooching both, but he has immense guilt about this. And he kind of wants to reinstate himself as that role, Once upon a time, Shellyan's bodyguard. His job was to ascertain the situation, to figure out if we're in a dangerous situation and what we should do in order to keep the crown prince safe. And he is trying to do this job here as well, even though that isn't his role anymore. And his own history with Hua Chang, with Crimson Rainsword Flower, is playing into this as well. He is scared of this guy, with good reason. And he is out to kill him. And again, would have if not for Shellyan. So what I'm saying is he's kind of stuck in that situation where he can't move forward because he can't win. He can't fight Hua Chang and win. And also Shellyan is choosing Hua Chang. So he can't walk forward and he can't back down because he won't allow himself to back down. He won't allow himself to run away again, even though a sane man should have. What I am saying is that I think Function and, well, of course, Mooching as well, but we're talking Function now. I think Function has suffered a lot from this whole ordeal as well. Like, I don't think he is mentally okay either. And I think it shows in this scene. Though again, I think that we would have been a lot further along the way to reconciling Function if you would have faced Shellyan as yourself in season 1. Like, boys, whoever came up with this idea, I honestly think you played yourself. You literally just created a whole playing field for Hua Chang to stroll in. My god. Anyway, let's finish this up. Aww.
说好的一瞬间，如何？
The instant.
行了
Yup.
你这浮尘的毛都快抹我一脸了。三郎，
I love the way he says that.
你不是也要回仙京了吗？不过，你要是想跟我回鬼市，我也欢迎。
下次吧，有机会你重修极乐坊，我去给你搬砖。
搬砖不必，你坐着看也挺好的。
先说的是，不管怎么
Oh, this
说，
is my favorite part.
还是多谢你。我不知道怎样才是对的，或许这样也未尝不好吧。
If I don't think about it too hard, I don't have to cry. It's so good. Oh, it's so good! Another thing that was pointed out to me about this whole scene with the mask and the stabbing is that that's the hairpin that Lang Chen-cho commissioned for his mother. I didn't even look at it very closely every time I saw this ending. I was just so focused on the mask. But that is such a detail, oh my lord. Especially considering how his mother indeed got stabbed. There's a lot of things you can read from this. I love that imagery. Can we pretend that this is George? I think this should be George. I think it's lovely if that is George. And that was episode 11. Yeah, thank you once again for joining me for this study session, where you do get a little sneak peek into what I'm thinking at the moment. And usually, I do the study sessions after I have read and replied to comments, so that I do have a little bit of you guys' insights as well. And I hope that, well, the discussion for the next episode isn't really going to be too big, I think. It's mostly going to be a bit about Hualien and a bit about Function, I think, because I am really interested in his character and I'm so happy that he's gotten a little bit more spotlight. If you did watch my character tier list for season 1, Function did rank below Mooching because he never really had a lot to say, And now I really think that they've given us some time to get to know him a little bit better as well, so I really appreciate that. Again, nothing else really to say, except I'm stalling because I don't want to be done with this, but at the same time I want to be done with this so that I can read. Do you see my conundrum here? If I watch the episode, the donghua will be done, and that is really sad. But if I watch the episode and finish the donghua, I can read the books, and that will make me happy. Yeah, it's a trade-off. It's how this works, I suppose. Season 3 release date when? Eternal Wait release date when? Did I just call it Eternal Wait? Yeah, if you too are eternally waiting, I hope that you'll join our Discord server where we on the daily now send pictures of Hua Chang's actor in red robes to cope. Sometimes not even when he's playing Hua Chang, but it helps the imagination. Gosh, he looks so good. I need to learn his name by heart. I need to look it up every time I'm trying to say it. So thank you for joining me for today's study session, and I hope to see you in the next one.